Welcome to this episode of Book Nerd Paradise, where we get to know an author as they tell us one of their favorite quotes, read from their work, pose a trivia question, and give away a book or two. Hi, I'm LRW Lee, author of the Andy Smithson Epic Fantasy Adventure Series. And for those of you who have joined us more recently, I wanted to make mention that both the ebook of Book One, which is Blast of the Dragon's Fury, as well as the prequel, which is Power of the Air's Passion, the ebooks are available for free download on Amazon, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. So if you haven't had a chance to download these, please do avail yourself of them because, like I said, they're free. So have at it. Okay, so today we have the privilege of getting to know YA fantasy author Nichole King. Born and raised in Iowa, Nichole writes her stories close to home, she says. There's nothing like small-town Midwest scenery to create the perfect backdrop for an amazing tale. She wrote her first book in junior high and loved every second of it. However, she couldn't bring herself to share her passion with anyone. She packed it away until one day, with the encouragement of her husband, she sat down at the computer and began to type. Now she can't stop. Worse things have happened. When not writing, Nichole is usually curled up with a book, scrapbooking, or doing yet another load of laundry. Along with her incredible husband, she lives in a small town, Iowa, with her 4 adorable children and their dog, Peaches. Please join me in welcoming Nichole King.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's great to see you. Nichole, you're going to be reading from your YA paranormal fantasy novel, The Spirit, and that's book 1 in the Spirit Trilogy. So that we can get a feel for the book, would you give us a brief synopsis?
This is the first book. The second book is currently out, and the third one, fingers crossed, will be out later this year. The books take place in a small town called Villisca, Iowa, and it is a real town, and it is known to be one of the most haunted towns in the United States. And so I use that as a backdrop to the story. And so Carrie Reese is my main character, and her parents are working out the details of their divorce, which was kind of sprung on her last minute. And so she is sent to Iowa to her grandparents who live on a farm in Villisca. And almost immediately, creepy things start happening. There's just a vibe in this town, this real life ghost town, and she starts to feel that. And so it's about her adventures that happen there and the people she meets.
Nichole, you've picked a favorite quote. If you would tell us what it is and then tell us why it's a favorite.
I have picked a quote from J.K. Rowling. Everybody knows who that is in the book world. And she says, ultimately, we all have to decide for ourselves what constitutes failure, but the world is quite eager to give you a set of criteria if you let it. I picked that quote because failure is something everybody deals with, whether you're in the book world or not. From the moment you take your first steps and for the rest of your life, failure is always there. And if you don't just make the best of it, because we can use failure to push us forward, or we can use it to hold us back. If we don't decide ourselves to use it to push us forward, then everyone else is going to make sure that it holds us back.
Yeah, that's a great thought. I like that. Yeah, you're right. It's like if we just allow the world to dictate to us that this is a problem, then we're stuck with it. But if we choose, I think that's the key, right? We choose what we're going to do with it. No, that's awesome. I love that thought. We're also going to be giving away a book. If you would tell us what you're going to give away.
I am giving away a paperback of the first book in the Spirit Trilogy. And if you are an international reader outside the United States, then you'll be getting an ebook. It'll be signed and will come directly to you.
Excellent. That's awesome. Okay, so in order to enter to win, all you need to do in the comment section right below here, just enter a comment. It can be anything about the show, okay? And if you would, please make sure that you include a Twitter handle, Facebook address, or email address so that if you are the lucky winner, we can get a hold of you. Paul, you're going to be reading, as I said, from your YA paranormal fantasy, The Spirit. Would you briefly set up the portion you're going to be reading from and then share with us?
I picked this because I kind of find it a little funny. I laughed when I wrote it. I hope you enjoy it too. Carrie has met someone, and she's starting to really, really like this guy. And so she's talking with her friend back in Texas, and her friend's just not so sure about who this person is. It is a creepy town, and so her friend is quite the superstitious gal. It's after their conversation, and while Carrie is processing her thoughts on what her friend has told her. Excusing myself, I ran up to my room. My nails clicked on my teeth as I paced the floor. I hadn't seen Lucas all day, and it bothered me more than I wanted. I checked my phone again. Nothing. He promised he'd see me soon. What did soon mean? Obviously, it didn't mean he'd see me the next day, because he hadn't. Had he told me he was doing something today? Crap, I couldn't remember. Walking in circles around my room, trying to figure it all out started to make me dizzy. Then it hit me. Like conspiracy theories, you never really ponder them until after the conversation with a crazy person. Had I not spoken to Jessica, I may have missed it completely. The promise wasn't that we'd see each other. It was that he would see me. I had only assumed that meant I'd see him as well. If Jessica was onto something, and I hoped with every ounce of my being she wasn't, the omission in his words meant what? The endless and ridiculous possibilities ran one by one through my mind. An angel, a vampire, a ghost, a demon, something else. None of it made sense. It had to be impossible. Lucas is human. I kicked myself for even flirting with any other option, but what if? Putting both hands on my head, I paced faster. Could my whacked out superstitious friend be right? Was Lucas human? Admittedly, I didn't know much about the undead, other than what was portrayed on TV and movies. Those theories had to come from somewhere, though, right? I took each impractical creature one by one. I've gone over the deep end. Thanks, Jess. Vampires. Usually evil, sometimes dead, sometimes not. In most movies, have fangs, turn into bats, and sleep in coffins. Not to mention, they suck the blood of humans. Vampires were beautiful, like Lucas. Although, unlike Lucas, they wouldn't have left me alive. And we were outside in the daylight. Vampire, not likely. Ghosts. Save one, all ghost movies have haunted houses. The Moore House, maybe? And the ghosts seek payback on unsuspecting, stupid humans. They were invisible or transparent. The only good ghost I could recall was Patrick Swayze, and even he was out for revenge. Again, not Lucas. What would he want with me? Demonic beings. Very, very evil. Nothing good came to mind as I considered this one. I felt stupid for acknowledging any of them, but this one most of all. Moving on. Werewolves. At this thought, I could have slapped myself. Wondering if there had been a full moon since I met Lucas, I walked over to the window and peered outside. Then I checked the calendar hanging on the wall. We wouldn't have a full moon for almost a week. Ugh, good God, I've lost it. Angels. Angels were good beings sent from heaven to help humans. They usually had wings and halos in heaven, but maybe not on Earth. This, by far, was the most likely option. Aside from Lucas just being human, of course. If Jess was right about him possibly being an angel, then my dreams made more sense. Sort of. So then, why would me being with him be dangerous for me? Or for him? I searched my purse and found a pen. Then I grabbed a notebook from my dresser. I sat back down and crossed my legs and began to write. Every tiny detail I could recall from the first dream filled up the first page. It surprised me how much I was able to remember. Like I was there. Then I proceeded to the dream I'd had the night before. I my side and set the notebook on my lap. Biting my lip, I stared at my closet as if it held the answers I so desperately wanted. I allowed my eyelids to fall. Deep within me, I knew that the connection Lucas and I shared was more than mere attraction. I loved him. He was all I could think about and all I could see.
That's pretty funny, I have to say. I love those. It's like, could it be this? Could it be this? Our guest author last week, YA fantasy author Ellie Cross, posed a trivia question for us.
The answer to my trivia question, which was, which piece of sword play advice did Jon Snow give Arya in Game of Thrones, is stick them with the pointy end. That is the answer.
Okay, so Nichole, you have a trivia question for us. What is it?
I do. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And so this is a Harry Potter question, a quote. Of course it is happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth should that mean it is not real? I would like to know where Harry is when Dumbledore says this to him.
I happen to remember this part, but I won't say a word. Okay, so then for everybody, especially if you don't know, make sure over this little button right over here, this red one right here, make sure you click the big red button that says subscribe, because certainly you're going to want to hear Nichole reveal the answer next episode. So don't miss it and make sure you subscribe. Nichole, are there any final thoughts you want to leave with our listeners?
Would just really like to thank my readers and readers in general. I sometimes wonder if what readers think when they pick up a book, but it's not just them picking up a book. We do this because they pick up those books, and we love every second. And so thank you for making our jobs so fun, and we get to do what we love to do because you love to read them. And so we really couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much.
That is awesome, and I fully agree. Yes, if we didn't have any readers, what's the point? So absolutely, no, that's an awesome sentiment. So yes, thank you, readers and viewers too, for that matter, because everybody watching, you guys are avid readers, and without avid readers, also this show wouldn't exist either. So thank you. I will extend my thanks as well as Nichole. So yes. Okay, well, with that, we reached the end of yet another episode. So I am LRW Lee, author of the Andy Smithson Epic Fantasy Adventure Series. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know D. Nichole King just a little bit. And always remember that next Monday, there's always a brand new show. So you'll enjoy Nichole this week, and make sure you tune in for the next episode, because there's always new authors, at least new to you authors, that you probably haven't heard before. So make sure that you continue to tune in. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.